nice. But next year when you go see them again, I don't think those gifts will still be there. But if you give them a transcendental knowledge in form of these beautiful books, including the Bhagavad Gita and few other books we have, that will stay for them for the rest of the eternity. Srila Prabhupada said, if somebody even touches this book, their life will change. What to speak of when they open the book and read these books. So we have these beautiful packs of 6 books today available at the reception. So when you go sign up for the Gita Jayanti, you can also pick up this one of the pack and give a contribution towards these packs. The printing cost of these books is £12. So even if you like to help us just cover the printing cost, you can do that, or anything over that is a donation. So we are outside. Once the Narsingha prayers are concluded, you can come, and each one of you think of taking at least 2 to 3 of these beautiful packs. With that, we have a small little calendar which you can carry it with it as a gift, and then you pass it to your friends when you go and see them over Christmas and New Year. This is the best gift. Narendra Modi says that there is nothing in the world, nothing better than Bhagavad Gita for people to receive, and nothing better to give. This is the best gift you can give. And all these books are based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So please come outside and pick up your pack before you go home today. So thank you everybody. Now we're going to sing the Narsingha prayers. Please join us with your hearts. Hare Krishna.
Would you like to sing? No. Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlad Ladadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakalaye Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimho Yato Yami Tato Narsimha Bahir Narsimho Hridaye Narsimho Narasimha Madim Sharanam Prapadye Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakha Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipur Tanu Bringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Anubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narsimhadev, 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 Jaya Narsimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। Hare Krishna. So now prasadam is being served in the Haveli all the way till 2 p.m. But you also have the opportunity to hear more about the Bhagavad Gita, because every Sunday at 1 p.m. we have a class right here in the temple room on the Bhagavad Gita. So please stay with us and just give us a few minutes to set up just by this door here. And if you could all turn to face this direction, towards this wall, and we will begin shortly. Hare Krishna.
Where is Raman?
I have no.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnava Vangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitansham
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari 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 Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. श्री श्री राधा गोकुलनंद की, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनाम की, गौरनताय की, शिल प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पच्चस्ता देशतारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कंठा राधाकंठा नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवदेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us. Some of our listeners are on the back. It's a surround sound system, so people on all sides can hear. So we're going to have a small class on the Bhagavad Gita. So anybody, like, I just want this class to be a conversation or a discussion rather than a class of me just speaking. So I'll ask a lot of questions. And if devotees can't answer, I might have to just pick some of you to answer. So be ready, yeah? So let's start with the first question. What is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita. What does the word Bhagavad Gita mean? So let's start with something very simple. Gita. Geet. It's a song, right? So Gita is a song, and Bhagavad Gita means song of God, or the divine song, or the transcendental song. So Bhagavat means a transcendental song. So for those of you who don't know, Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra between Arjuna, a very prominent warrior, and Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Krishna. Here you have Sri Krishna in this very beautiful three-bended form with the flute. But on the battlefield, I think you can see here, he looks very like a warrior, and he's operating this chariot of Arjuna. And at one point of time, when Arjuna was completely bewildered because the war was just about to break, so Arjuna, this great mighty warrior, he sees all his friends, all his relatives, all his cousins and grandfather and teachers on the other side of the battlefield. So he was very astonished and he was very saddened by that I have to fight against those who have loved me. You know, when we see our relatives, or when we see our, let's say, distant aunts or our grandparents, we go and we we just remember like how as a child we used to just play in their laps, right? But the same situation is with Arjuna. He sees his grandfather, who he used to climb in his lap and play as a small child, but now in the battlefield he has to fight against the same person. So it's a very, very difficult situation for him. Until that time, the relationship between both Krishna and Arjuna was of a friend, sakha, like oh friend. But at that point of time in the battlefield, when Arjuna was completely bewildered, then Arjuna just said, Shishyasteham, I am your disciple. Please tell me what to do. I'm completely confused. This great bow, which I've acquired after so much austerity, is slipping away from my hands, and I don't know what to do. Please guide me, O Krishna. And at that point of time, this is chapter 2, when the Bhagavad Gita was started, Krishna started speaking the Bhagavad Gita, and slowly and steadily he's making points to counter Arjuna's argument, because Arjuna said, look, I don't see any benefit from this war. People are going to be getting killed. Rather, I would like to choose non-violence. I would like to just refrain from this fight. I would like to just go to the forest and meditate. I think that's better for me, rather than taking part in this war. So Krishna's answer was that you are a warrior, your nature is to fight, and the best thing you can do is fight for dharma or fight for righteousness. So this is how the Bhagavad Gita started, and I thought we can just quickly go through the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is called Transcendental Knowledge. So I just want to ask a quick question. Whenever we buy a new, let's say, instrument in a house, let's say we buy a new television, or we buy a new, let's say, laptop or any phone, we normally get like an instruction manual, right? What's the purpose of the instruction manual when we get a new phone or get a new TV or get a new laptop? Sorry? Exactly, to operate better, and at the same time, to start up the instrument also, because for the first time when we fire up the instrument, we don't know how it works. So the instruction manual actually gives us all the guidelines, all the instructions of how we can set up the device so that we can use it properly, right? Similarly, the Vedas and all the scriptures are instruction manuals for us to live this life in a proper way, in a balanced way. That's why Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita, that's why Krishna spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam, because there are a set of instructions or guidelines or principles with which we have to live our life, right? So transcendental knowledge is like an instruction for us human beings to guide us so that we can live a balanced life, a proper life, no matter which situation we are in, no matter we might be a bachelor, or we are a family, we have a business, or we are working, or we are retired. But these principles, these instructions, these thoughts, this applies to everybody in all spheres of life. No matter we're a child, we are a man, we are a woman, in any sphere of life, we have certain codes of conduct or certain principles which help us to live life in a better way or in a balanced way. So the 4th chapter is a very interesting chapter, because Krishna is speaking about transcendental knowledge. And the nature of this transcendental knowledge is that it purifies us and it helps us to make a very accurate understanding of the whole world around us. So the first, we can say, the first verse of the chapter 1, text 1, so Sri Krishna is saying that this knowledge was given to, I'll just quickly open up the chapter, just one second. Yeah, so Sri Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Imam Vishwate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivashwan Manvehe Praha Manur Ikshvakte Avaparvit. So just like if you go to a school And we have been taught by a teacher, right? Similarly, the teacher was taught by his own teacher or his own lecturer. So whatever knowledge we have acquired in our life, it's coming from a disciplic succession, right? And in future, maybe some of you are in the teaching profession and you will pass your knowledge to somebody new. Similarly, Krishna is speaking that how this transcendent knowledge was given to a personality called Vivashwan. So he says, Imam Vishwate Yogam Proktavan Avamayayam, and Vivashwan spoke this knowledge to a personality called Manu. And Manu spoke this to Ishwaku, who is the current king. So in this first verse over here, you can see like how Krishna is, you can say, putting all the disciplic succession of how this knowledge was passed on to different personalities. Similarly, in the second text, he goes on to say, Ivam parampara praptam, imam rajashayo vidu, sa kalena mahata, yogo nashta parantapaha. So he's saying that this knowledge was passed with disciplic succession, or was passed on through a lineage. And this was understood by all the saintly personalities. So in this, it said Raja Rishi. Do we think that it's important for the leaders of the society to live by principles? Is it important? Yes? There's a very interesting, you can say, quote. It has come in a movie also. It says, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So a king or a leader of the society, even a small decision he makes, it has a lot of effects on a lot of people. So it's very, very important that a Rajarishi or a king or a leader or a minister who is guiding a lot of people, he has to adhere by principles. He has to live life in a certain way because his actions or his motivations affect a lot of lives. So that's why Krishna in this second text he's saying that Imam Rajashayo Vidu. That means all the saintly kings understood this knowledge in this way. But Sa Kalena Mahata, with time this knowledge was lost, unfortunately, O Arjuna. Because the nature of this world is that we get so busy with our own lives, with our, our dreams, our hopes, that sometimes we forget. So similarly, Krishna in this case is saying Sa Kalena Mahata, which means with time this knowledge was unfortunately lost. And that's why I have come back to give this knowledge. So this is a very interesting, you can say, text, because the first time when I was reading with Bhagavad Gita, normally our, as humans, our tendency is to ask questions, right? So I was also thinking about, okay, he's speaking these principles, but how does it apply in our lives? Is it actually true? And we'll see in the 4th chapter, this chapter, the text number is 4. In this, Arjuna is actually asking Krishna a question back. Normally, we have this understanding that spirituality is that somebody will go on to speak, and if he answer, you're going to hell, or you have to just take it on the word value. You can't question back, or you can't ask any questions. But in this case, you can see Arjuna is actually asking back to Krishna. So Arjuna is speaking. He says, Aparam bhavato janma param janma vivashvataha. So he's saying, Krishna, you're telling that you have given this knowledge to somebody called Vivashwan. But Vivashwan, as I remember, he's much, much, much older than you. You are standing in front of me when the battlefield of Kurukshetra was happening. Krishna was around 100 years old. So when Arjuna is asking, Krishna, you're standing before me, you're 100 years old and you're standing before me, you're my friend, and you are saying that you gave this knowledge to somebody called Vivashwan. But as I remember, Vivashwan was born many, many, many years ago before you. So how can you say that you gave this knowledge to him? He says, Katham etad vijaniyam. Like, I am unable to understand. Like, you have been in front of me for the last 100 years, and Vivashwan, who was born millennials ago, you are saying that you gave this knowledge to Vivashwan, who was born much, much before you. So it's a question, right? Like how Krishna is saying that he gave this knowledge to somebody like Vivashwan who was much, much senior. So then Krishna is answering him. He says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavarjuna. He says, Krishna is saying that there are multiple lifetimes. There were so many lifetimes when you were born, when I was born. And in that previous lifetime or a previous life, I gave this knowledge to Vivashwan. But Arjuna, Tani eham veda sarvani natvam vedah parantapa. He says, I remember all the lifetimes which happened before this particular war, but you don't remember any of those. So we in Vedic understanding on Vedic scriptures, we always use the word samsara, right? Anybody can answer what is samsara? Samsar is actually a very prominent word in the Buddhist tradition also. Samsara. No, it's not some universe. It's a cycle. So what does samsara mean? Any ideas? Society. It's a cycle. So samsara actually means a cycle of birth and death. So if somebody has seen the Bhagavad Gita, you will see there's a picture. Exactly, Janam Mrityu Chakra. So you will see a small boy is born. Slowly he becomes of a tender age. He becomes a child, and then slowly he becomes an adult, and then he becomes middle aged. Then he becomes elderly in an older age, and one day, unfortunately, all of us has to pass on the baton, right? We have to all leave this place and move on. So one day he has to leave this body, and based on the Bhagavad Gita speaks like based on the karma or the kind of consciousness he has acquired in his whole life, his next birth will be defined. So that is samsara. So in the same way, Arjuna is telling that I remember all the lifetimes which happened before you were here, but you don't remember because the second the person has to leave this planet or leave this life, the memory is kind of reset. So he says, you don't remember any of those lifetimes, but I remember all of those. Yeah. So then Krishna goes on to, let's say, very, very beautiful verses. I think all of us a lot of people know these verses because growing up, we used to see a television serial called the Mahabharata, and every day in the morning, those verses used to come. It says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata adbhuddhanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham. So he says, Yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever dharmasya glanir, that means whenever there's a decline of religion, bhavati bharata, whenever there's a decline of religion which happens, he says, O Bharata, O Arjuna, adbhuddhanam dharmasya, whenever there's a increase in irreligiosity or adharma, tadatmanam srijamyam, I personally come. So from time and time again, and that's why it says that how we can understand, because Srila Prabhupada never said that this is the only way or this is the only path. He always said the Lord comes at different times and different millenniums and different pastimes. He comes and he injects the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge, but he gives it according to the consciousness of the people who is around them. So Sri Krishna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has come time and time again, but he has given knowledge according to the time, place and circumstances. So here he is saying, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. So whenever there is a decline in the religious principles and whenever there is a decline, I come personally to reestablish those religious principles. And then Krishna goes on to say, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. So he says to save the saintly personalities, to save the people who are following life in a religious way, and Vinashaya cha duskritam. The miscreants or the people who are here, or you can say their desires or their lust or their their envy has taken them so much that they're ready to actually sacrifice other people's life also. To them, Vinashaya cha, I come to control them. Dharm samstha punarthaya, that means to re-establish the principles. Sambhavami yuge yuge, again and again I personally come. So transcendental knowledge, he's saying that whenever there's a decline and whenever there's a rise in irreligiosity or adharma, to save the sadhus, to save the saintly personalities and to discipline the miscreants, I personally come. There's a very beautiful pastime in the Ramayana. You have Lord Sri Ram here. So when Lord Sri Ram was, I would say around, he was just a teenager, there was a very prominent Muni called Vishwamutra Muni. So Vishwamutra Muni actually comes to Dashrath Maharaj, the father of Lord Ram. He says, I need your son, I need his help, because we are rishis, we are saintly personalities, we are brahmanas, and we are trying to do yagnas or havans or yagnas in our you can say our cottage in the forest. But whenever we are trying to do the yagna or the havan ceremony, these demons, they come and they actually stop the havana. They start throwing mud and different impure substances into the holy fire, and they actually even kill the rishis. So I need your son, who is a great warrior, to come with me and help me so that I can perform my yagna properly. So Dashrath Maharaj, out of a heavy heart, because his son was very, very dear to him, so he said, okay, fine, you can take my son. So when Lord Ram went to the forest, so he comes onto a massive hill. So Lord Ram is asking Vishwamutra Muni that, what is this hill? It's a very weird looking hill, very weird shape. What is this hill? So Vishwamutra Muni says, Lord Ram, it deepens my heart to say this, but this is actually a hill which is made of all the skeletons of the saintly personalities who were killed by the demons. And Lord Ram was really, a tear just broke from his eyes, and he said, I take this vow that I'm going to finish all the demons from this earthly planet. And that's how the Ramayana or the Ramcharitmanas was established, because his whole principle was to actually annihilate the demons or Ravana who were actually hurting the saintly personalities. So I thought we can just have a very small question and answer session. So because we spoke about transcendental knowledge, so I thought we can just quickly just remember, because Krishna spoke about how this knowledge is coming through a disciplic succession. So I just want to ask the devotees here a very simple question. Please tell me an instance or a situation in your life, or a teacher or a mentor or a guide in your life who you still remember. Because teachers play a very important role in our lives, whether it's transcendental knowledge, whether it's our knowledge with our careers. It's only through teachers who we get this knowledge from. Personally, for me, I'll just share a very simple example. So when I was, I think, at the age of GCSEs, I had a maths teacher. So we were growing up, and as adolescents or as young boys, we always look up to somebody, like to get us inspired. So we had a maths teacher. He was quite very young. He was actually from a military background, so he couldn't finish his military training. So he rather chose to come and teach school kids. And his qualities, because he was very steady, very determined, and very he lived his life with principles. And I think that really affected my life at a very young stage of life, because we look up to somebody, right? And we always try to imbibe those qualities in our own life. So I think even though this happened many years, maybe like 20 years ago, 15 years ago, but still I remember him, because his qualities, even though he just taught us maths, but his personal qualities actually really helped in shaping my life and shaping my personality. So similarly, I just want to quickly ask some of the devotees present here, don't be shy. any teachers in your life, or any mentors, or any figures who really inspired your life and shaped your life in a very big way? Radhika Mataji?
Just going to say my spiritual master.
Yeah.
He's in Vrindavan, and when I see his devotion, like I used to have lots and lots of questions about spirituality, and constant questions. But when I met him and I saw the simplicity of the devotion that he had, all my questions were gone, and it was very inspiring to actually see someone following in the light of my.
Jai. Wonderful. Yeah. You have answer? Any teachers or any guides in your life?
I've had a Vastu teacher. He really got me into spiritual knowledge.
Wonderful. So Vastu teacher as if like the architecture and that kind of stuff. Wow, wonderful. It's so amazing to hear that you learned Vastu. Amazing. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. You have any teachers in your life you want to share?
I was thinking of the school teacher, and I was thinking of someone that taught me something spiritual as well.
Yeah,
And it was actually someone from a Hindu religion,
yeah.
my mum's partner.
Okay.
He comes from a Brahmin family, and he thinks very, he showed me all the simplicity of life that actually matters, and if we get caught in,
Yeah.
the speed of life, and it was just bringing me back to reality and the basics that really kind of changed the way I think.
Wonderful, wonderful. And they play a lot of important, like very important role in like just making us understand like what is important in our lives, right? Because in life there are so many things can get busy, or there are so many priorities, and as a young adult, as we grow up, we sometimes are unable to decide what is of the highest priority or what is of the highest importance. And then these guides or these mentors, they come in our lives and they actually help us to understand, okay, this is the most important thing in your life, and it helps to reshape our life. Wonderful. Amazing. You have any teachers in your life you want to share?
My father was a great teacher, and he died in the summer. He was 96, and he was still teaching me to the end. He has this beautiful energy, wisdom, and very spiritual, very religious. And he didn't lose that right up to the end. So even the way he passed was very spiritual.
Wonderful.
Catholic, so he passed, but he passed the holy names of Our Lady. So he had a spiritual passing, and great teacher, just a great soul. And so I'm very inspired to have had him. And it's a hard act to follow, but there's an act there to be inspired from.
Wow, beautiful. I mean, the first teachers of anybody in our life are our parents, our mothers and our fathers, because they are our first teachers in our life. And as you mentioned, like it's so beautiful that not even through their life, but even while they are passing away, they led example to show us. With every moment, they show us like how to live our life. That's so beautiful. You have any teachers in your life you want to share?
So my mom was my main teacher, from whom I inherited Shagoji and Krishna knowledge.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's so beautiful. And Sri Krishna also has, just recently we had the Damodar month, the Kartik month. So the importance of Kartik month is, when we say the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Bhagwan, the Supreme is the controller, or you can say he is the absolute, he is the highest. But in that particular Leela or pastime, he is showing that even though he is the most powerful, he is the Supreme Personality, but unconditional love of his mother is even able to bind the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Sri Krishna is also, through his example, he is sharing that how important role his mother plays, because the entire Damodar Leela is the mother is trying to actually discipline his child, because she's just worried that if I leave him like this, he's going to get really naughty and he's not going to listen to anybody. So let me actually discipline him. And in this pastime, you'll see the Supreme Personality is also bound, because he's bound by the love and the affection of his own mother. So a very important teacher, wonderful. Anybody else? Okay, so we'll end our class here. There's a lot of things happening. We are going to have some kirtans after this. There's prasad being served. And till evening, we have the 7 o'clock Aarti. So if you are around, please attend the Gora Aarti. And there'll be programs till 9:30. So if you are around, please come and join. Thank you so much for coming. Shri Shri Radha Kukrand ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, the Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnava Vangsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द भजते कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द प्रभो नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर विनाशति गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्ण